As one travels through the Great Plains, one can note that brown prairie is sometimes replaced by green crops. And one can ask, why is one patch of land so green as opposed to the surrounding area? And the answer is irrigation. Where does the water come from? It turns out that much of the Great Plains lies over one of the largest aquifers in the world, the Ogallala Aquifer, which covers about 174,000 square miles. It lies under 8 states, regions of Wyoming, South Dakota, Nebraska, Colorado, Kansas, Oklahoma, New Mexico, and Texas. More than 2 million people rely on the water from this aquifer for drinking water. But the majority of the water which is extracted, more than 90%, is used for irrigation. About a third of all of the irrigated land in the United States is irrigated from water from the Ogallala Aquifer, and it produces annual agricultural yields worth $20 billion, about a fifth of the agriculture in the United States. Wells need to be dug deep enough to reach this aquifer, and the depth below the surface varies from about 100 feet in the south at its shallowest to more than 400 feet in the north at its deepest. The amount of water in the aquifer varies over regions, from several feet deep in the south to more than 1,000 feet in the north. Although this aquifer contains so much water that it could cover the entire United States with 1.5 feet of water, the yearly volume of water which is extracted is 8 times the volume of the Colorado River. So in other words, much of this water, which was the result of ice age melting and going back to tectonic activity in the Cenozoic era, much of this water has been there for millions of years. The water is being extracted at a rate far faster than natural processes such as rainwater can replenish it. As a result, in some areas, it is already absent from a region where it once could be depended on to extract water. And in other areas, its water level has dropped more than 100 feet, causing many wells to be abandoned and new wells to be dug, which are much deeper. If it were to completely run dry, it would take 6,000 years to refill this. And so while it is vital for agriculture in the United States, its overuse is threatening the number of years into the future that it will be able to be used. It is such a valuable resource that things which might potentially contaminate it, such as oil pipelines, would have devastating effects to the Great Plains of the United States. Water use can be limited by planting crops which require less water, for example, wheat and sorghum instead of corn. Much of the corn which is planted has been genetically engineered to reduce its dependence on water, dry lands corn, and this could make a difference. Also, cattle require an enormous amount of water to support, and so the greater the dependence on beef, both as a country and in this particular area, the greater the water use will be.